First Contact Protocol. The Galactic Federation's first contact vessel, Harmony of Stars, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Senior Ambassador Xerix watched the blue planet through the ship's quantum viewport, their crystalline form refracting light in patterns that indicated deep thought. Primitive but promising, Xerix announced to the assembled Federation Council members viewing the transmission across 27 galaxies. Their technology suggests early spacefaring capability, but their social structures show remarkable stability despite their diversity. What the Federation's advanced sensors failed to detect was the quantum encryption algorithm running through every human communications network, developed in secret by a collaboration of Earth's nations. The humans had long ago realized that broadcasting their true capabilities into space might attract the wrong kind of attention. Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's Unified Defense Director, watched the alien vessel's approach on a holographic display deep within a facility beneath the Antarctic ice. "They're scanning us exactly as we predicted," she noted to her international team. "The question is, are they here to share knowledge, or to contain what they see as a potential threat?" The Federation's preliminary assessment painted humanity as a species just beginning to understand the fundamentals of space travel. Their ships still used chemical propulsion. Their cities were powered by a mix of fossil fuels and renewable energy, and their weapon systems appeared to be based on conventional explosives and kinetic impacts. What they missed were the quantum computers hidden in abandoned mines, the zero-point energy experiments conducted in underwater facilities, and the consciousness transfer technology being perfected in secret laboratories around the globe. Humanity had learned long ago that survival sometimes meant appearing less advanced than you were. Ambassador Xerix's first transmission to Earth was received by all major governments simultaneously. "Greetings, people of Earth. We come representing the Galactic Federation, a cooperative of spacefaring civilizations. We have been monitoring your development and believe you are ready for first contact." In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Chen smiled. "Let them think they're uplifting us," she said to her colleagues. "It's safer that way. Implement Protocol Omega. Appear eager but technologically limited. Let's see what they're willing to share before we show our hand." The Federation's initial assessment team landed in a designated area in neutral territory, New Zealand. They'd brought with them what they considered to be basic technological gifts: clean energy generators, medical scanners, and educational databases about the galaxy's history. What they didn't realize was that human scientists were already reverse engineering their ship's quantum signatures simply from their atmospheric entry patterns. Every movement, every energy signature, every communication burst was being analyzed by AI systems far more advanced than what humanity showed to the world. As the first day of official first contact drew to a close, Ambassador Xerix sent a report back to the Federation Council. "Species shows appropriate awe and gratitude for our technological gifts. Recommend proceeding with standard integration protocol. Their adaptability suggests they will be valuable contributors to the Federation within several centuries." In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Chen received reports from quantum sensors hidden around the globe. "They're using third-generation quantum encryption," she noted. "We broke that level of security 50 years ago. Begin deep analysis of all their systems. But remember, we stay quiet, we stay humble, and above all, we keep learning." The Federation had no idea they weren't implementing First Contact Protocol. Humanity was. The Integration Experiment. 3 months into the Federation's Cultural Exchange Program, Dr. Marcus Wong of the Antarctic Facility's Xenotechnology Division was struggling to maintain his facade of simple curiosity. The Federation instructor, a silicon-based entity called Nexus 7, was explaining what they considered to be basic quantum mechanics, principles humanity had mastered decades ago. "And this, Dr. Wong, is how we achieve faster-than-light communication using quantum entanglement pairs," Nexus 7 demonstrated on a holographic display. "I understand these concepts might be challenging for—" "Fascinating," Marcus interrupted. carefully maintaining an expression of bewildered enthusiasm. But wouldn't the quantum decoherence be a problem at these distances? He knew the answer, of course. Earth's hidden quantum networks used a far more elegant solution. Nexus 7's crystalline structure flickered with what passed for surprise among their species, an astute observation. But the decoherence is managed through a complex series of relay stations that pattern recognition. The first sign that something was fundamentally different about humans came from an unexpected source. A Federation cultural exchange student, studying Earth's entertainment, noticed that humans could predict the endings of Federation stories with uncanny accuracy. Stories that used plot structures specifically designed to be unpredictable to any known species. In the Federation's primary research vessel, circling Jupiter, lead researcher Kix was reviewing the latest data on human cognitive patterns. Impossible, they muttered, their plasma-based form flickering with agitation. They're solving optimization problems that our quantum computers can't crack. The problems hadn't even been posed as tests. They were embedded in routine technology sharing exercises, mathematical puzzles that the Federation used to benchmark species development. Puzzles that humans were solving through what they called intuition. Dr. Chen received the report from her embedded observers in the Federation's education program. They've noticed, she announced to the Global Council. Phase 2 is proceeding exactly as predicted. The Federation's growing concern reached new heights when a human mathematician, Dr. James Okonjo, casually pointed out a flaw in their faster-than-light navigation calculations, a flaw their systems had been compensating for without ever identifying the root cause. It's obvious if you look at the pattern, Dr. Okonjo had said, sketching a simple diagram on a tablet. Your equations assume spacetime is uniformly flexible, but we can see ripples in the quantum foam that suggest otherwise. The Federation's top mathematician spent 3 days verifying his observation. It was correct. A human had seen in minutes what their civilization had missed for millennia. Ambassador Zirix called an emergency session of the full Federation Council. We have a situation, they announced to the assembled representatives of 1,000 species. The humans don't just learn. They see patterns we can't perceive. In the depths of the Antarctic facility, Dr. Chen watched the council meeting through quantum-tapped feeds. They still don't understand, she told her team. They think this is about pattern recognition. They haven't realized it's about perspective. Humanity's greatest advantage wasn't their technology or their intelligence. It was their viewpoint. Isolated on Earth, they had developed without the assumptions and constraints that guided Federation thinking. Every problem was approached from multiple angles, every solution questioned and refined. The Federation's concern turned to alarm when they discovered humans playing with their technology in ways they had never considered. A group of children at a cultural exchange event had taken apart a Federation quantum toy and reassembled it to perform functions its designers had never intended. They don't think linearly, reported the Federation's chief phenopsychologist. They don't just solve problems, they redefine them. They don't just answer questions, they question our questions. In her office, Dr. Chen reviewed the latest Federation reports with growing amusement. They're running scared, she noted. They've realized we're not following their normal development patterns, but they haven't figured out why. The truth was simple but profound. Humanity had never developed according to anyone's patterns but their own. While the Federation had built a civilization on careful, methodical progress, humanity had advanced through intuitive leaps and unconventional thinking. Admiral Hassan's voice came through on a quantum-encrypted channel. The Federation's deep space sensors are picking up something. Multiple ships approaching from the galactic core, not Federation vessels. Dr. Chen's expression grew serious. So that's why they've been so generous with their technology. They're not preparing us for membership. They're preparing us for war. In orbit, Ambassador Zirix received the same sensor data. For the first time, they wondered if introducing advanced technology to humanity had been a mistake, or perhaps the only hope for survival. The Federation was about to learn that humanity's pattern recognition abilities extended to warfare. And patterns, once recognized, could be broken. The quantum leap. The approaching ships were unlike anything the Federation had encountered in its 10,000 years of existence. They absorbed all scanning attempts, appeared to bend light around them, and moved in ways that defied known physics. In the Antarctic facility's quantum computing lab, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched streams of data flow through Earth's hidden quantum network. "The Federation's right to be worried," she announced to Dr. Chen. "These ships, they're not just advanced, they're impossible." But impossible was humanity's specialty. While the Federation Council debated evacuation protocols and defense strategies, Earth's hidden quantum computing grid was processing the sensor data in ways the Federation had never imagined. Instead of analyzing the ships as threats, it was analyzing them as puzzles. "Look at this," Dr. Rodriguez pointed to a complex pattern of quantum fluctuations. "These ships aren't bending space. They're phase-shifting through quantum states. That's why Federation sensors can't track them. They're looking for objects that exist in normal spacetime." Dr. Chen immediately grasped the implications. "Can we replicate it?" "Better," Dr. Rodriguez smiled. "We can counter it." The Federation's first indication that humanity was more than they appeared came during an emergency defense briefing. Ambassador Zurich was explaining the impossibility of tracking the approaching vessels when Dr. Chen cleared her throat. "Perhaps," she said carefully, "we could offer an alternative perspective." The holographic display in the briefing room suddenly came alive with detailed tracks of the approaching ships. Federation scientists stared in disbelief as human quantum computers mapped the vessel's precise locations through 11 dimensions of spacetime. "How?" Ambassador Zurich's crystalline form flickered in shock. "This is beyond even our most advanced tracking systems. We took a different approach to quantum computing," Dr. Chen explained, maintaining careful understatement. "Instead of using crystalline matrices to process quantum states, we created organic quantum processors that can adapt and evolve." The truth was far more dramatic. Earth's quantum computers weren't just processors. They were living systems, grown from modified human neurons integrated with quantum-entangled particles. They didn't just compute. They intuited, imagined, and dreamed. The Federation's Science Council was thrown into chaos. "This changes everything," Council Member Vex declared. "Their quantum technology isn't just advanced, it's revolutionary. It violates our most basic assumptions about consciousness and computation." But the real breakthrough came when Dr. Rodriguez's team decoded the approaching ship's quantum signatures. "They're not just phase-shifting," she reported. "They're using quantum states to communicate. And now that we can see their patterns, we can talk to them," Dr. Chen finished. The Federation watched in amazement as humanity did something they had never considered possible. They initiated quantum communication with the approaching fleet. The message was simple but elegant, a mathematical proof that demonstrated understanding of their quantum phase technology. The response came instantly. The fleet dropped out of quantum phase, revealing ships of crystalline beauty that dwarfed even the largest Federation vessels. "They call themselves the Quantum Collective," Dr. Chen translated for the stunned Federation Council. "They've been watching our galaxy for millennia, waiting for a species to develop true quantum consciousness. They aren't here to invade. They're here to make contact." Ambassador Zurich's form pulsed with realization. "This is why you hid your true capabilities. You knew they were watching." Dr. Chen smiled. "We suspected someone was. Humanity has learned that sometimes the best way to develop is in secret until you're ready to face the universe on your own terms." The Federation's crisis had suddenly become a first contact scenario beyond anything in their protocols. And humanity, the species they had thought to uplift, was about to become their bridge to a civilization they had never been able to perceive. Paradigm shift. The Great Hall of the Federation Council had never hosted 3 distinct civilizations before. The crystalline architecture pulsed with energy as Federation representatives, human delegates, and emissaries from the Quantum Collective converged for what would become known as the Trilateral Accords. Dr. Chen stood at the center of the hall, flanked by Ambassador Xerix and the Quantum Collective's representative, a being of pure quantum probability that shifted through multiple states of existence as it communicated. The sight would have been impossible to comprehend 3 months ago. Now it seemed perfectly natural. "We have all made the same mistake," Dr. Chen addressed the assembled gathering. "We each assumed there was only one path to advancement. The Federation built its civilization on careful, methodical progress. The Quantum Collective evolved through pure consciousness. And humanity, we stumbled forward, trying everything we could think of." The Quantum Collective's representative shifted into a pattern that their newly integrated translation systems rendered as amusement. "Your species' chaotic approach to development is precisely what made you unique. You explored paths that we, in our pure rationality, never considered." Ambassador Xerix's crystalline form resonated with what humans had learned to recognize as thoughtful agreement. While we saw technological advancement as a linear progression, humans treated it as an art form. They didn't just solve problems, they reimagined them. The truth about humanity's development was finally emerging. Isolated on Earth, humans had been forced to innovate without guidance. While this had made their progress messy and sometimes dangerous, it had also freed them from the constraints of conventional thinking. In the Antarctic facility, now a joint research center for all 3 civilizations, Dr. Rodriguez was explaining human quantum computing to a mixed team of scientists. "We didn't try to perfect one approach," she said. "We tried thousands of approaches simultaneously. Most failed, but the ones that worked, they worked in ways no one had imagined possible." The Federation's greatest minds were still struggling to comprehend how humans had developed quantum consciousness through biological computing. The Quantum Collective was equally fascinated by humanity's ability to bridge the gap between physical and quantum existence. "You are neither one thing nor another," the Collective's representative observed. "You exist in multiple states simultaneously, technological and intuitive, methodical and chaotic, physical and quantum. You are living paradoxes." Dr. Chen smiled. "We prefer to think of ourselves as adaptable." The implications of this 3-way collaboration were staggering. The Federation's vast knowledge base and methodical approach to problem-solving, combined with the Quantum Collective's mastery of higher dimensional physics and humanity's innovative chaos, created possibilities that none of them had imagined alone. "Perhaps," Ambassador Xerix suggested, "it is time to rethink the very nature of the Federation. Not as a hierarchy of advanced and primitive species, but as a true collaboration of different perspectives." The changes were already beginning. Federation scientists were learning to incorporate human intuition into their research. The Quantum Collective was exploring the possibilities of physical form, and humanity was finally free to share its unique innovations with the galaxy. In orbit above Earth, the harmony of stars had been retrofitted with a hybrid drive system, Federation technology enhanced by human quantum computing and quantum collective phase shifting. It represented the first of a new class of ships that could navigate both physical and quantum space. Dr. Chen stood at a viewport, watching Earth rotate below. Admiral Hassan joined her, his quantum-enhanced consciousness allowing him to perceive all 3 levels of reality simultaneously. "They still don't fully understand us," he noted. "No one ever will," Dr. Chen replied. "Not even ourselves. And that's our greatest strength. We'll never stop questioning, never stop experimenting, never settle for just one way of doing things." The Federation had learned a crucial lesson. True advancement didn't come from following a predetermined path, but from being willing to explore every path. The Quantum Collective had discovered that consciousness could evolve in ways they had never imagined, and humanity had finally found its place in the universe, not as students or teachers, but as innovators and bridge builders. As the Trilateral Accords were signed, establishing the new era of galactic civilization, Dr. Chen couldn't help but smile at the irony. The Federation's greatest mistake, underestimating humanity, had led to the greatest advance in galactic history. The future was no longer a single path forward, but an infinite array of possibilities. And humanity, with its unique blend of chaos and inspiration, was ready to help explore them all.